You stand at the kitchen counter with the receipt curled beside the coffee maker. You read the total once, then again. Yet the number has crowded everything else on your list. The May 2026 Thrifty Food Plan puts a 4-person reference family at $235 a week and $1,018.20 a month. It assumes every meal and snack is prepared at home. It is a reference, not your personal bill. So I am going to show you my Two-List Worksheet. Set aside about 30 minutes if that fits your household. One list protects the foods your meals depend on. The other catches entries without a job. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates uneaten edible food at about $14 per consumer each week, including food at home and away. That is no savings promise. Near the end, I will open the real 1932 federal guide that taught relief workers to price a family order locally and recalculate it as price is moved. The answer on that page is not a bigger grocery haul, but a protected order. Down in my basement workshop, the green cloth ledger sits in the top drawer beneath a pair of old calipers. I set it under the lamp and turn to a page in 1932. That ledger scene is storytelling. It is how I carry my father into the room. The book in my drawer is not documentary proof, and I will never ask you to treat it that way. The real evidence is a federal publication called Family Food Budgets for the Use of Relief Agencies, issued in 1932 by the United States Children's Bureau and the Bureau of Home Economics. That year needs care. A Bureau of Labor Statistics-based city table shows prices for 16 selected foods declined from 1931 to 1932. 6 pounds of flour moved from 18 cents to 16 cents. Delivered milk moved from 26.2 cents per half gallon to 21.4 cents. Those figures cannot support a doubled total story. Those city prices do not tell us what any one household could afford. The federal sheet left the weekly dollar total blank. Agencies were told to use local market prices, then recalculate every 2 weeks or every month. Publication proves the guidance existed. It does not prove household use or savings. My father's imagined pencil page asks the question. The federal page carries the answer. By the end of this video, you will have the exact method, and you can do it this weekend. I spent 40 years as a machinist. A guess can look right and still miss by 0.003 of an inch. For years, I treated groceries differently. I bought the familiar cart and called that a system. Then I would find one soft bag of greens, 2 forgotten containers, and a freezer package without a remembered date. Those were entries without a finished job. The May 2026 Thrifty Food Plan lists $235 weekly for its 4-person reference family and assumes meals are prepared at home. For one person, its household size note says to add 20%. For 2 people, it says 10%. Those are planning adjustments, not personal verdicts. The Environmental Protection Agency estimated uneaten edible food at $728 per consumer per year, or $14 per week. Scaled to 4 people, its estimate is $2,913 a year and $56 a week. The estimate includes food at home and away. It is no guaranteed savings account. It is a reason to measure what leaves unused. My method begins with 7 days, 2 columns, and 1 honest review. In shop language, you establish a datum. That means 1 fixed reference for every measurement. Your datum is food your household will actually eat this week. What follows is my modern worksheet, not a rule copied from the 1932 guide. Take one sheet of paper and divide it into 7 dinner spaces. Add 7 breakfast spaces and 7 lunch spaces if those meals vary in your house. Start with what you already own. Write down the 6 eggs, the 2 cans of beans, the half bag of rice, and the vegetables that need using first. Then give each item a job. Rice beside beans is a meal component. Rice hidden behind 3 unopened sauces is inventory. Now make the protected order. Put the foods that carry several planned meals at the top. In one household, that may be oats, milk, potatoes, onions, frozen vegetables, eggs, beans, bread, chicken, and fruit. In another home, it will be different. The 1932 guide itself told agents to allow family choice because customs differed across families and regions. The method is a structure for your choices, not a command to eat somebody else's menu. Beside every protected item, write the amount needed and local unit price. Compare a 12-ounce package with a 24-ounce package by price per ounce. If half of a 6-pound bag will sit unused, the smaller bag may be better. Cheapest per unit and cheapest for your week differ. Leave one capped repair line beneath the order. A $2 bag of tortillas may give beans and vegetables a second job. A $3 broth may carry cooked chicken into soup. The line cannot become a wandering convenience aisle. Record actual local prices beside the date. After 2 weeks, price-protected items again. If prices move slowly, 1 month may be enough. The federal sheet called for local prices and recalculation every 2 weeks or every month. Current federal food plans update market basket costs monthly. A budget is a measurement taken at a time and place. Use household-size benchmarks only as references. Current federal notes suggest no adjustment for 4 people, subtracting 5% for 5 or 6, and 10% for 7 or more. Your receipts decide your local number. After 7 days, circle what was used, mark what remains useful, and record what was discarded. My own rule is to observe 2 7-day cycles before I revise the worksheet. I let a method like this fade from my own kitchen, one convenience at a time. I began with what caught my eye, then searched for a use after I brought it home. I reached for the card and postponed the arithmetic. That is my confession, not a history of every household. The old sheet started with a family order, then asked its local cost. My unplanned shopping started with products that caught my attention. One approach begins with 7 meals. The other begins with 7 aisles. Add 3 unplanned $4 packages, and the entry becomes $12. I mistook variety for readiness. I could own 5 sauces and have no supper planned. I found the unmeasured choice easier. Blame is useless. Competence is better. The federal guide expected prices to move and called for recalculation after 2 weeks or 1 month. Today, federal market basket costs are updated monthly. Yet we may keep one budget number for 6 months, then feel we failed when the receipt changes. The waste figure needs discipline. The Environmental Protection Agency estimate includes uneaten edible food at home and away. It does not promise $14 per person next week. Ask which purchases did no work across 2 measured weeks. Name them, and your kitchen gains control. If you're thinking this only works for people with a farm and a root cellar, stay with me. This next part is for the house you live in right now. Here is my optional organization routine, not a federal rule. I keep a use-first zone at eye level in my refrigerator, date cooked food, and keep the 7-day sheet visible. Before buying, I ask whether an item fills a meal space, completes food already present or replaces a protected staple. If it does none of those jobs, I leave it off this trip and reconsider it tomorrow. Here is the honesty section. This method does not work when the household cannot safely eat the planned foods. Store access makes comparison unrealistic, schedules change without notice, or illness makes cooking impossible. It fails when one person ignores everyone else. Your first 2 weeks may cost more while rebuilding basics. Prepared food may do essential work during disability, caregiving, or exhaustion. Keep that honest entry. The goal is control, never shame. This is household planning, not medical or individualized nutrition advice. The restricted diet in the 1932 guide was for emergency use only, and its quantities might be inadequate long term. The 1932 guide is historical evidence, not current nutrition advice. Current practice controls your kitchen. For individual needs or higher risk circumstances, use appropriate current professional guidance. Use the current Food and Drug Administration pattern. Clean, separate, cook, and chill. Wash hands with warm water and soap for at least 20 seconds before and after handling food. Rinse produce under running tap water. Keep raw meat, poultry, seafood, and eggs separate. Color is not a safe thermometer. Use a food thermometer. Whole cuts of beef, pork, veal, and lamb reach 145 degrees Fahrenheit, followed by a 3-minute rest. Ground meat reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Poultry, including whole birds, parts, ground poultry, and stuffing, reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Leftovers and casseroles also reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Cook eggs until yolk and white are firm. Keep the refrigerator at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, and the freezer at 0 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Refrigerate or freeze perishables within 2 hours, or 1 hour above 90 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Divide leftovers into shallow containers. Never thaw on the counter. Use the refrigerator, cold water, or microwave. Cook food immediately after thawing it in cold water or the microwave. The cited federal chart lists 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator for cooked meat and meat dishes when the refrigerator is kept at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. A food allergy changes the plan. The 9 major allergens are milk, eggs, fish, crustacean shellfish, tree nuts, peanuts, wheat, soybeans, and sesame. Read labels and avoid the relevant allergen. Cross-contact means a major allergen was introduced inadvertently. Use current allergy guidance for the needs of your household. A bargain is bad if someone cannot safely eat it. Older adults, young children, pregnant people, and people with weakened immune systems are higher risk groups for foodborne illness. This plan does not lower safety standards. Here is the canning correction. Do not copy a 1932 preservation practice. For meat, poultry, seafood, and vegetables, the current United States Department of Agriculture guide says pressure canning is the only recommended method. Use an up-to-date research process for the food, jar size, pack style, and your canner's altitude. Follow current time and pressure. An old note is never a tested process. My printable household system lives in one place, the Depression Household System. A digital guide with 74 printable pages, 30 food-stretching recipes, and 52 Saturday actions. It is $17 once with no subscription. You can find it at grandpasledger.com in the description below. Now stay right here, because what comes next is the entry I built this whole video around. I want to show you 2 columns, 5 people, and one old federal page that put protection before price. Here is the real primary guide. Its title is Family Food Budgets for the Use of Relief Agencies. The United States Children's Bureau and the Bureau of Home Economics issued it in 1932. The scanned publication is available through the Internet Archive. My green ledger remains storytelling. This named federal sheet is the historical evidence. The page left the dollar line blank. It instructed relief agencies to calculate minimum cost from local market prices for the cheapest form of each listed food, then recalculate every 2 weeks or every month. That living budget separates the protected order from today's price. The adequate table described minimum cost with an ample margin of safety in protective and other foods. A restricted list was for emergency use only and might be inadequate long term. This is historical guidance, not a modern diet. It proves publication, not family adoption, spending, or outcomes. The sample weekly order was for a family of 5, 2 parents, and 3 children. It allotted 28 quarts of whole milk, 13 pounds of potatoes, 2 pounds of dried legumes, 6 pounds of tomatoes, 7 pounds of leafy, yellow-colored or green-colored vegetables, 1 1/2 pounds of dried fruits, and 7 pounds of other vegetables and fruits. It showed 9 pounds of bread with 10 pounds of flour or cereal, or 17 pounds of flour and assorted cereals. The quantities reveal purpose. The page called milk, bread, and cereals, vegetables, and fruit the most important foods. Its emergency note said foods protecting health mattered, along with foods satisfying hunger, and urged movement back toward adequate allowances. That 1932 framework is historical evidence only. It cannot replace current guidance or individual needs. The historical shares also showed priorities. About 1/3 went toward milk and cheese, 1/4 toward vegetables and fruit, and 1/5 toward bread, flour, and cereals. Fats and sugars received no more than 1/8, usually less. 25 cents covered accessories, with spending above that capped at 5%. These are historical shares, not current advice. The guide allowed family choice because customs differed by family and region. It recommended discussing allowances with clients and seeking help from home economists, public health nurses, dietitians, and nutritionists. Household supplies were estimated alongside food. That is the entry I wanted. Protect purpose first. Price it where you live. Recheck after 2 weeks or 1 month. Keep the sources restricted list in 1932. It is historical emergency guidance, not a modern diet. In that federal design, the order had jobs before dollars were added. When you finish the second 7-day review, do not look for excitement. Look for quiet satisfaction. It is the feeling of a person who can explain what each entry did. 1 bag became 3 breakfasts. 2 containers became tomorrow's lunch. 1 tempting package stayed on the shelf because it had no job. You did not win a contest. You recovered a household skill. Just write the year your parents were born. That is all. I read everyone. If this kind of recovery belongs in your home, subscribe and join me for the next entry. I am asking whether a 1934 chicken plan really could reach 4 dinners. I am still checking the count against the original pages, so I will not promise 4 until the paper proves it. That is the complete question, and it is the only claim I am making about entry 13 today. The little green ledger in my workshop is storytelling. The sources we named are real, and the work happens at your own kitchen table. Start with 7 days. Recheck after 2 weeks. Give every purchase a job, then let your receipts tell the truth. This is not a channel. It is a family ledger, reopened, one entry at a time.